Welcome back to the Perth Hockey Stadium, the second of our broadcast games today. Men's game between Vic Park and WASPS. The women's game earlier was won by Vic Park by 2-1. Both of these teams in the men's are looking for their first win of the season. Joining me, Dave Christensen, is the doyen of coaches, Rick Charlesworth. And Vic Park we've seen against your mob, against Wolves, in a pretty exciting 3-3 draw. Haven't seen WASPS this season so far. What do you make of the chances of both these teams today?
Well, WASPS will be very disappointed with their start to the season. They've had 2 losses, and you know, in the last sort of half a decade, they've been contenders. So they've got a poor start, and they'd be worried about that, I suspect, because they didn't play teams that were at the top of the rankings last year. So, from WASPS' point of view, this is a pretty critical game. For Vic Park, you know, a loss and a draw, they would perhaps think themselves unlucky against Wolves because they were leading by 2 goals with 4 minutes to go, but on the play that day, probably a draw was a fair result. So
that was a cracking game too.
Yeah, and they played a good game against Fremantle earlier on, Vic Park, to be beaten by Fremantle in an even tussle. So they're a good team. They're contenders, but they're without their Australian players today. They'll miss Collins and Wetton, and of course on the other side,
Tim Howard missing.
Howard and Brand. Well, I think Brand has been overseas. Howard certainly here, but he's presently involved with the Kookaburras playing against Malaysia. So both teams without their national players. So a good challenge.
Let's have a look at the team sheets. Here's the Vic Park Panthers. Tim Bates, their playing coach. Wilson Patton Williams, part of their defence, and a couple of brothers there. The 2 Viticanus brothers. Second one's not up there, but Viticanus brothers playing in there. I don't think Shane Benfield is actually playing today, so we'll wait and see how they run out. But he certainly wasn't part of their warm-up that we've seen so far.
Yeah, Andrew Viticanus, I think, is taking his place.
Yeah.
Benfield usually at the centre at the back for Vic Park, and a pretty important player for them and their leader. So
he's also the club treasurer.
Well, yeah,
so he might be off counting money.
He's got his hands on the dough.
And for WASPS, now this is, I reckon,
it looks like the
women's team. Yeah, so we won't pay much attention to that. But what I can say about WASPS, and I was only joking when I mentioned it to him, Murray McIntyre and Charlie McIntyre, the only team with a grandfather and grandson in it.
Father and son.
Murray McIntyre.
has been.
There we go.
He has been playing a long time, Murray McIntyre, but
Mumbles has played, I reckon, almost 500 senior games.
Yeah, and his son there, Charlie, 38, been playing for Wesley in the schools competition up until recently. So he's a young one and a very promising striker. They've got some experience. They've got a quality goalkeeper in Richardson. Kyle Potter, who came from Melville, has been important for them in the middle, and of course they've got people like Sampson, Pierce, Debris, who are very good players in this competition. Really solid.
Let's go down to the sideline. Still very muggy conditions here at the Perth Hockey Stadium. Here's Nick Neary.
So, I mean, just looking around, the sky is clearing up a little bit. We have turned the lights on, but that threat of rain is kind of dissipating. We're starting to cool down now, down from 28 down to about 26. Feeling a little bit better for the players. Still going to feel very hot and muggy out there. Just looking at a couple of the players that have caught my eye. It's Pampling for Victoria Park. So sharp on the shooting. Was pairing up with just a few people, just knocking things around, practicing some 3D skills. I'd watch out for him this afternoon. Back up to you.
Thanks very much, Nick. Yes, it is quite muggy. 29 is the forecast maximum. I think we got past that around 1 o'clock this afternoon. And there is a forecast for showers and the chance of a thunderstorm this evening. But looking at the sky at this stage, I suspect it will be well after we finish here. So just about in readiness for the teams to make their way out. They'll come in and do the coin toss in front of the technical bench. There's the sky, overcast, but doesn't appear to be any imminent threat from it. Umpires for this game today, Daniel Johnston and Matt Willis, both very experienced umpires.
And of course we've got 2 former hockey stalwarts, players from the Kookaburras who are coaching today. Tim Bates for Vic Park and Ian Bircher, who of course was a Vic Park player, is now at WASPS.
Yeah.
So he's facing the old enemy.
So Vic Park there in their final huddle, as are, there's Murray McIntyre standing up. 47 years of age, almost 500 senior games. He doesn't need to listen to that huddle, does he? He knows it.
He's heard it before. Yeah, and a little bit of grey perhaps, but he looks pretty good.
He's fit.
know?
He
Yeah,
is
he's
fit. He won't start today. They'll use him in bursts. Gee, he's been a great servant to the game, hasn't he?
Marvellous.
The
Marvellous.
Wasps, of course, won this title in 2016, again in 2019. Vic Park won in 2008, 2012. Coming into this game, Vic Park were beaten by Fremantle Coburn 3-2, drew 3-3 with Wolves, and Wasps were beaten by Guildford 3-1, and then beaten by Whitford 4-1. They wouldn't have been happy with that.
Well, of course, and this year, the relegation serious. Last year, I think the relegation was set aside because of the COVID issue, but all of those teams who were struggling at the bottom last year are serious this year because they're facing relegation if they don't climb up the ladder.
So just about in readiness, just waiting for the goalkeepers to get into their nets, because the umpires won't start the game until the goalkeepers are there. James Richardson in his goal for Wasps. Dom Hurd just coming round. And the game is underway. Wasps in the yellow tops, attacking the goal to the left of screen. Brenda Mess just belting it up the other end.
Field position makes a bit of sense. Taylor
Yes.
bringing it back.
Yeah, Ben Taylor, who scored 3 times from penalty corners in 2 games. Very, very strong. Also strong over the ball. Dane Richards there. Works his way into the circle. In corner. With Jack Pampling it was.
And he's dangerous around the circle, Pampling. He has got those 3D skills.
Early pace in this game. Lachlan Sampson. Bates.
He is quick, Sampson.
Whoop. Chance. Charlie McIntyre. Sits out. Oh, and who got back there to save that? That was an incredible save from Lawson Patton Williams.
Well, the ball spilled in the circle and it was just waiting for someone to knock it in. But it was just in that space in between and probably the defender was closer. Patton Williams did the... There it is. It spills. It's in the space and just wasn't quite where it was wanted there for Sampson. He couldn't knock it in.
Wareham, David Wareham. Loose ball.
I think he's a boy from down south. Promising young one.
Ben Taylor. This is Nick Corner. Had it
Dangerous.
stolen away. Sampson again. Waits for the cavalry. Max Bainham.
Well, we're just changing position.
Yeah.
We each touch it once and give it to the other team. 5 changes position there in about 20 seconds.
Paul Robertson. Great skill. Still Robertson. Oh, well picked off.
Stewart there on the... Oh, it was Taylor, I think, yes. Taylor on the baseline made the interception. Robinson did well.
Didn't he?
It's the final pass, though, that's the one that's important.
Wareham, David Wareham. Oh, delayed. Could be made to pay for it. Battistessa. Will Battistessa.
Wareham
do
got
enough.
back. He did the job. Batistessa did a good steal there, and he broke into the circle. I'm not sure that he's fully fit yet. He's had some injury concerns. Normally, perhaps he would have broken a bit more dangerously. And Wareham got back and made a recovery.
Clearing ball. Should come straight back at them.
Here's Bates.
Oh, well read. Brenda Bess. Murray McIntyre, oldest man on the field. Well done by the keeper, Dom Hurd. That's not easy.
No, it was a searching centre from McIntyre. Created a bit of trouble, and Dom did well. He had to go and was good enough to knock it out with his stick.
And that's not easy when you're holding it one of those mitts either.
No, it takes a lot of skill. It's only 2 inches or 5 centimetres wide, and the hockey stick is a pretty narrow implement.
Reload time, Wetherill. Joe Robinson.
Well, it was a searching pass from Robinson, maybe a little bit high.
Nobody took evasive action.
No. Speaking about high.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised about that one. Thought the forward was in front, but McIntyre's got it.
Defender preference, you see.
Taylor makes the tackle. McIntyre was looking, but there wasn't really a good option ahead of him.
Dane Richards.
It's Vaitakanis. He does well, but just didn't quite control it.
De Bess.
Well, you've got to say, Wasps have had the better of it, really, haven't they? And given the form coming into the game, you would have thought that perhaps Vic Park would have been favoured.
Oh, that could almost be a penalty call. No, he's got a green card.
But Estessa's clever. He's done well. And that's a good save. Well, Batistessa ran right through them there, and Richardson had to save with his chest.
James Richardson. Here's Ben Taylor. Look for this man if Vic Park earn penalty corners.
He's been in form this year. Certainly been effective.
Ethan Sterrett. Searching ball, nobody there.
Not a bad idea, just need to make a connection. Good shot of it from behind there, wasn't it? We saw it.
He certainly found the gap between the defenders. Trouble is, it was the gap between the attackers as well.
But that's, in some way, that's the art. I mean, you have to fire it through the gap, and the attackers have got to know where the ball's going to be, and hopefully lead into those holes. But if you lead too early, of course, they close up.
Last pass a little too strong from Tim Bates.
And for a long time, Tim Bates has, of course, been playing at Guildford. He was their coach, a very good player for them. And this season, he's moved to Vic Park for a new experience. Electrician by trade. If you need an electrician, he's the man.
Didn't he have a year with Vic Park back in the 2010, 11?
Maybe he played there when he was an AIS player, when he was in the national
on the draft
performance program on the draft. But since he finished in the high performance program, he's been at Guildford for quite a while.
Yeah, no, he's been very good for old Guildford Mundaring Hockey Club.
Fletcher Wetherill there. He's still at school at Christchurch, and doing well to be playing in the first division. Here he is. He's only a young boy, but he's a pretty good hockey player already.
He's got great reach too, hasn't he?
And red hair, that helps, it seems, you know.
Beautifully weighted ball from Bates. Richards.
He's done well, Richards, a couple of times. He looks like he provides a little bit of penetration there.
Fletch Weatherall. Just waiting back in the circle, marking the dangerous Jason Gabriel. That's not going to get that far. It's a penalty corner.
And now Taylor makes his way. And they've got Bates, of course. They've got two options.
Yeah.
It was good play there by Stewart. And then...
You see Weatherall just on the edge.
Yep.
He sprinted because Gabriel had made so much ground to get into the circle and put himself in a dangerous position. It's good reading of the play by Weatherall.
But in the end,
yeah,
the tackler wasn't able to make an effective tackle. We win a corner and Taylor presents himself at the top. You've got to think that Taylor will take the first one, given the form that he's been in. But they've also been effective going to Bates, and Bates slipping it left, so that's an option too.
Here he is. Just wide.
His favourite spot, he likes it on the right there. Good turnaround though. Potter fires it out and they're away.
Vic Park getting back in numbers. Still the ball. Oh, great tackle. Great tackle. And eventually it just slips past the stick of Brennan Doak. Young man originally from Albany. Ethan Stewart. Richards. Just played it too far ahead of himself. Wareham. Danger. Pounced on by Kai Stewart. On the reverse. Back of the stick.
And he didn't really get it, did he?
No.
I mean, sometimes you can lift it. Potter tried, but he wasn't going to get there. And he just got the top of the stick on it, knocked it into the turf, bobbled up to the goalkeeper. Pretty clearly the back of the stick, that one.
Robertson wins it at the side. David Wareham. Battistessa. Will Battistessa.
Well, Duncan Pearce had his measure there, covered him well. They had to go back, but now they're going forward. Pampling unable to trap it.
Duncan Pearce in the middle of the field for WASPS. Just, I think 2 weeks ago, played his 200th game for the club. Away come Vic Park, Jack Pampling. Second time he's made this run into the circle, and he's earned a penalty corner.
Clever run by Pampling.
Very neat. Second penalty corner for Vic Park. Injection will come from Pampling. Pampling on the baseline. The nephew of Graham Poss-Reid. Bates this time, and the deflection down on the deck. Beautifully finished.
Well, it's a very effective corner. First saw it used a lot by the New Zealanders. There's the deflection from Battistessa. Gets the touch. Hard to block. And indeed, very, very well executed there.
12th minute of the game. Will Battistessa.
Joe Robinson nearly got there. He knew what he had to do, but he just the timing was just right, and was unable to block it.
Lawson, Patton, Williams. Ethan Sterrett. There's the foot. Away we come through Robertson. Paul Robertson for Wasps.
They're much ahead of him then. Now a ball over the top.
Max Bainham couldn't control it. Scrambled away. No free hit. Good strong defence that time from Jack Cudby. Here is Cudby again. Lawson, Patton, Williams had Charlie McIntyre all over his back. No free hit given.
Over the head by Ethan Stewart, but plenty of time for Robinson there. That's it, run over the back line. Well, they started well, Wasps, but you've got to say that Vic Park's starting to assert themselves. They had a couple of corners, and of course, that goal gives them a bit of comfort. Unlucky Stewart there. I thought he came on late, but
De Best got the free hit because he had to be allowed to bring the ball down and control it.
And then Johnston having none of that.
No. Joe Robinson. Oh, Batistessa again. So busy. Is that a foot? No, it's a stick. Vic
Right.
Park thought it was a foot. Neither umpire did.
But certainly thought it was.
And there's no video umpire here. Murray McIntyre lurking in the circle for for Wasps. And as hard as he might have tried, Paul Robertson just couldn't get a free hit.
Yeah, well, he thought he had a couple there, didn't he? A bit
Might
like
have
what
had
happened
one
at
there.
the other end.
Yeah.
There was a bit of an agricultural tackle here. Oh, no, he
Got the ball. Yep.
Fair enough. Was correct.
It's easy to umpire from up here on a replay, isn't it?
The replay helps.
Yeah. Pampling. Oh, left it behind. Kyle Potter. Free hit goes against them. Bates assumes control. Takes the self-pass. And just a bit too hot for Andrew Vatikanis. That's a lovely ball. Murray McIntyre just couldn't pick the bounce.
Would have got in his younger days, I'm sure he's thinking.
47 years of age.
Can't believe that number.
Holds his own, doesn't he, with these guys? Patton Williams to Bates. Taylor square right. Opts to go further forward. Might have been better off with Taylor. Last 5 seconds of the first quarter. And that'll do us. Our clock's slightly out of sync with the game clock. So Vic Park with the ascendancy on the scoreboard, and 2 penalty corners to none. Just the 1 goal scored by Will Batistessa, I should say, in the 12th minute.
And there's a shot of a huddle of a team that's had 2 losses and down in the first quarter.
So on turnover,
They've played okay, but not quite enough.
Turnover to turnover. And they're good ball hunters. Will Batistessa makes a living out of it, okay? And 3 or 4 times, we've won the ball and we then turn it over and they're coming at us. That's the only time they're dangerous, is on turnover in their own half. Other than that, it's bloody good. Bloody good. Our tempo with the ball is good, but most of all, our pressure and our aggressiveness on our press is making them panic. Okay, so we need to keep the aggressiveness in our press. Voice, physical, and all those sort of things we've been talking about. The last thing from me is on turnover, when we win the ball, what do we need to do with it? Help side, and we carve them apart, okay? Every time we win the ball on turnover and we go to the help side, they don't want to run and they don't want to work hard. We have to get wide. Doki got wide, got into good spot. We just need to get reward. Robbo's getting reward. We're going around the outside, away from their better players, and we're creating and creating and creating. We now need to get the result, okay? It's what we've been talking about. We final pass, final corner, final goal shot. And in the D, don't be afraid. Pull the trigger. Have a shot and force the keeper to make a save. Might bounce up, win a corner, get under it, and we hit it in. Okay, let's go.
Coach Ian Bircher.
Well, you should know Vic Park pretty well. Here's the first. There's the tip. Perfect. Batistessa is a skilled player and well balanced, and he made the deflection. But not a bad summary of the game from Ian Bircher there. And he's going to know Vic Park as well as anybody, having played for them.
I was going to say he was there for a while.
More than a decade. So, pretty good summary. They've hurt them a little bit. They've been hurt on their turnovers in their own half.
Second quarter underway. Wasps attacking the goal to the left of screen. Into the feet of Lawson Patton Williams.
Jason Gabriel just a bit far ahead. He doesn't have that little acceleration that he might have had in earlier days.
Ball at the side, Paul Robertson for Wasps.
Patton Williams jumped in front though. You've got to do that as a defender. He couldn't control it, but it stopped the play. Breaks down the momentum.
Brenda Bess.
Good ball by Potter. Lovely pass.
This is Sampson, Lachlan Sampson. No, that's off the feet of his own teammate, Paul Robertson.
Sampson was looking for a corner, and interesting there, no one would tackle him here. They shadow him. They're looking, they're worried about their feet, protecting their feet. He slips and just couldn't control it.
Patton Williams, Lawson Patton Williams, sliced off his stick. Max Bainham. Quick release. Jack Cudby. David Wareham. Dangerous.
Ooh, lucky to get away. Probably got the free. The press was closing on them then, though. They might have lost it. Potter looking for a long pass. He's got a good pass. That's a beautiful pass.
Well done, Dom Hurd, the goalkeeper. Charlie McIntyre might have done better with that.
Oh, he did well to win the contest in the circle. He only had the goalkeeper to beat, and really he'd be disappointed with the shot. Dom Hurd came out, but he was stranded, and you only have to miss him by a few inches and it's in the net.
David Wareham. Max Bainham. Good run. Just outside the circle, wins the free hit against two of the older players on the field, but certainly not the oldest.
Yeah, he was a bit clunky there, Bainham, but he did well, and he's won the free. He certainly made some penetration. Just a little bit untidy, but this is outside 25, so they can fire it directly in. Batistessa,
well won.
He'll wait, and then he'll want to dribble. He's a good dribbler, but this time Cudby did well.
Batistessa runs straight at the defenders this time. Plays it off. Pampling lays it off again. Sterrett is it, and penalty corner.
Yeah, Ethan Stewart, not his accustomed position, normally plays in the defence, but he's overlapping and he gets it in the circle, and the corner, of course, is an outcome they want. They're pretty effective on corners this year.
Brenda Best, not much she could do about that. So what's the option this time for Vic Park? Brenda Bess,
well,
to do the running along with Sampson.
The goalkeeper's offset. Will he go the other side?
Taylor
tries
well
to.
done.
Beat the runner's first job for the shooter on the corner. Then you've got to beat the goalkeeper. That's the harder task.
Andrew Viticanis, Batistessa again. Had it taken away from him. Off runs Kyle Potter. Dawson Patton Williams staying with him. Oh, and that's a loose ball. Forward comes Stewart again. Pampling has support out wide. Well read. Terrific interception that time from Joe Robinson.
Well, a good interception, just couldn't control it. He could have counter-attacked it if he'd been able to control it better, but not quite enough.
Patton Williams. Hayden Viticanis. Corner ball. Curtis Skaney. Tim Bates, playing coach.
Well, Sampson didn't make the interception. Andrew Viticanis, had he made the trap, he was into the circle. And it's a bit like that. It's almost a chess piece sometimes. Pass, pass, pass at the back, and if you can make the next pass, you get some penetration.
Dane Richards, she's been good so far in this game. Dane Richards. Aidan Lowe's, his first touch of the game. Nick Connor, corner I should say. Oh! Don't stand there, you'll get run over.
Forceful play by Brenda Bess.
Bates is free on the right. Corner won by Andrew Viticanis. Bates is there to take it.
Almost invariably they play us around the back from there. Taylor's looking for penetration. Well, he finds it deep into the circle. Cudby had to intercept, but from that situation they invariably try and play from side to side, looking for an opening. The end result, hopefully a ball into the circle where you can make yourself a goal chance.
Bates just running away that time from Sampson.
Bates knew what he was doing, but Andrew Viticanis was a bit...
Not reading the same page of the playbook.
On a different book, on a different page. Oh, there's trouble.
Gabriel, stick check just outside the circle. So the ball has to move 5 metres before it can go into the D. It did eventually. And again, goalkeeper James Richardson called on to just punt the ball clear with that big kicker. Lawson Patton Williams has had a fair bit of the ball, hasn't he?
And he's up there in the circle trying to win a corner.
Gabriel, Jason Gabriel, reset round the outside this time. Andrew Vitikanis.
Richards unable to control it. And some relief for Wasps. They've been defending for most of the quarter. And yet they've had one or two opportunities, haven't they? A really good opportunity there for Charlie McIntyre. Wasn't able to finish, but a wonderful pass from Potter made it available.
Dane Richards again. Wareham, David Wareham. Fairly calm. Kyle Potter with the outlet.
Of course,
too far for Brennan Doak.
Wasps are missing two sets of brothers this year that played last year, the Walsh brothers and the Mittens.
Yep.
Very significant players, a lot of experience there and quality. So in some ways not surprising that they have struggled a little bit this year. They have got a young team.
Well, Trent's still in the squad, just not Joel Mitten is still in the squad. Just haven't seen him at the ground, or certainly not in the team today. He may be busy selling Mercedes Benzes, as that's what he does.
Can they get supply?
There's an issue. The Vic Park have an issue here. Taylor back in defence. Gee, that looked like it had gone out. Umpire said no, it hadn't, and he was on the spot. So penalty corner here.
And Taylor can't believe it. He thinks it definitely went out. Hard. It did look like it from here. Ooh,
maybe it just bounced. Maybe that's why we could see blue underneath it.
Taylor was right there, though. He did look surprised. Perhaps the umpire was just turning as it occurred. Oh, we'll have another look. He's in good position, the ref, you'd got to think there.
And it is bouncing, so we'll give the ref the benefit of the doubt, shall we?
Yeah, well, he's not in the line, of course. That's what makes it difficult, but certainly he was pretty well placed. And
umpire Matt Willis, that was.
Plays for Melville, Matt Willis, former Kookaburra. Pretty good umpire.
That's another penalty corner.
And Pearce has got a quality corner. I'm sure they're not going to go to Weatherall, so you've got to think this is going to Pearce.
Duncan Pearce, who scored Wasps' only goal last week in their 4-1 loss to Whitford. What great run. Fantastic run by
Richards.
Dane Richards, yeah. Outstanding, wasn't it? Jason Gabriel, oh, he needed to hold that. Tim Bates. Again, just not quite on the same wavelength that time as Kai Stirrett.
And when he's the coach,
yeah,
you know,
you'd better be in position.
Be listening. It's okay early in the season, but we're not doing that later on. Good play by Robinson there.
Running on is Bainham. Oh, it's got to be, oh, how no? How did that not get finished off by Lockie Sampson?
Well, it was a difficult one. Paul Robinson gave it an extra touch as it came across. Here it is, gets an extra touch there and just bounced up into him. Got to make the trap. Everything but a goal, wasn't it? Everything but a goal.
Best chance they've had. Well, they've had a couple of good chances,
Oh,
haven't
yeah. Yeah, they've had their fair share.
they? Yeah. Back of the stick.
This guy's started to play well, Potter. Getting a bit angry there, but good intensity. He's actually upped his game. He's wanting to get on with it. He's made some very good passes. And Paul Robinson there has been dangerous on the right, you've got to say.
Good run, David Wareham.
Lovely.
Oh, great ball. Murray McIntyre faced by Ben Taylor. Oh, gee, Taylor stayed brave, but his feet got in the way. Great ball.
Well, it's a very good pass, and McIntyre, as he's done maybe thousands of times, was good enough to get a shot, beat the defender. Here it is. Taylor got his stick on it, but back onto his foot. So another chance.
Just demonstrates how quickly you can go from defence to attack in this game.
And it was very good play by Wareham. He pulled inside, then saw the pass. It was inch perfect, and McIntyre, experienced as he is, was good enough to do something with that. And what have we got here?
Watch for Pearce to move to the right. And straight at the keeper from Fletch Wetherill. Well done by Tim Bates. Finds the foot, earns the free hit.
Well, interesting. Yeah, Wetherill got a bit on it though. It wasn't a poor flick, just not wide enough.
It's getting a bit of heat in it, this game, isn't it?
Well, you got to. It's almost like Vic Parker. Well, yeah, we're comfortable, but the intensity's coming from WASPS, and WASPS are actually making chances as a result.
It's a great drag left to right, isn't it? Corner. Nick Corner. Outside of him is Patton Williams. A touch from Curtis Gainey didn't need to be.
No. Pampling is skillful, you know, around the circle or in a situation like that, he's easily good enough to wrong foot or beat someone and make a good pass and create something.
It's another Wasps ball at the side. Patton Williams to Bates. Richards. Nick Corner. Batistessa, clever. Oh, clever again. Defender got a stick in. That's a corner.
Well, you don't want to give Batistessa a bit of space around the circle. He's good enough to wrong foot someone, beat another player, and then get the shot. Just blocked the last moment there.
There's
There
that
it is.
chance.
Yep.
Meanwhile, they're
And
back in
again.
there again and earning a penalty corner.
Same man,
Oh,
different situation.
great control.
Lovely. Yeah, I don't know about that. You know, he pushed it away. Is it obstruction? Pushed the ball 2-3 metres away. I'm not sure about that.
Dan Johnson
Dave?
was.
Yeah. Well, for me, sometimes it's a bit inconsistent.
Might have been the one
The
before that.
ball wasn't within playing distance.
No.
But
Okay.
here's the result.
27 seconds left in the quarter, in the half. Drag, drop. Oh, great save on the line. And a penalty corner, but gee whiz, what a terrific save by Duncan Pearce.
Well, they scored against Wolves in the same way.
Yep.
Ball comes out to Bates. He does the swish. So you get another shot close. Well saved. Pampling was good enough there, and he hit it. It was going wide, but it hit the foot, so fair enough, correct decision. Another chance.
They went the deflection again, and that time it deflected just wide, and there's a bit going on out there.
And they were going for the same variation that we saw earlier. Well, very interesting that, because the defender blocked him and ran into him earlier in the last year against University. My son had his collarbone broken in that situation. So it's an interesting one. Look at the defender has to come. Batistessa is going for the deflection. There. And just enough. And bit of energy in that, wasn't there?
A little bit of handbags afterwards.
Yes, there was.
So half-time, and Vic Park lead it by the solitary goal. 1-0. Let's go sideline with Nick Neary.
Yeah, down here with Max Bayman at the moment. Look, big first half for you guys. Obviously losing the 1 goal, but there's a lot of forward pressure in that first quarter. Dropped off a little bit in the second. Where do you find the game at the moment?
I think it's pretty even. I think we just got to put the ball in the net. Like, had a few chances, few one-on-ones. All credit to Dom, he's kept well. But yeah, we just got to put the ball in the goal. The rest of it's good, I think.
So we're going to maintain strategy for the second half. You guys want to push forward?
Just put more goals in than the other team. Yeah, can't ask much more than that. That's how you win the game. So, yeah.
Well, best of luck, Max. I'll let you go for the second half. Simple as that, boys. Back to you.
That's not a bad theory, is it?
Well, no, it would work if you do score more goals than the other team. That's what does it. Here's this ball knocked across. This is their best opportunity. Tapped, and if Samson really he had to make the trap first and then knock it in. He tried to hit it in first time, and you've got to do better than that. And here we see McIntyre. They won a corner from this, but weren't able to convert.
McIntyre Senior, that was.
Yes. And here's Batistessa, very clever.
He's been great, hasn't he?
Yep. And this one, the swish, great save. They get another corner, and now, if we watch the other corner, well, there was an altercation.
A bit later. So at half-time, Vic Park over Wasps. It's just the goal separating them. Vic Park 1, Wasps 0. All good. So half-time at the Perth Hockey Stadium in this round 3 men's Premier League game in WA. It's Vic Park leading Wasps by 1-0. I'm Dave Christensen, joined in commentary by Rick Charlesworth. As we look back on the first half again.
There's the collision. Batistessa going for the ball, and Robinson saying he's going for the ball too.
Yeah.
And the umpires in the middle there.
Matt
getting
Willis,
ready.
Matt Willis on the left of picture, Dan Johnston on the right. All a bit lonely out there at the moment.
Well, they're ready to start, making their way, waiting for the players, and they're walking back onto the field.
That's the first goal. Well, that's the only goal.
Yes. Same move that we saw later on, which nearly worked again. Maybe we'll see some more tricks in the second half, or perhaps Taylor will take a few more shots. 1-0, never enough in a game of hockey.
Ben Taylor played 2 games, scored 1 in his first game, 3-2 lost to Fremantle, and then scored 3 against Wolves. Here we go, second half. Vic Park leading 1-0 over Wasps and attacking the goal to the left of screen. Tim Bates had his stick kicked away from him by Lachlan Sampson, so wins the free hit. Ben Taylor square, that's where the ball goes. Stewart, free hit goes against him.
Clever pass from Potter.
Charlie McIntyre, son of Murray.
And signature move with the upright reverse smacked across the circle there. That's his father's favourite ploy, and he's taught his son the same skill. Batistessa, very clever.
And quick. Ball fell to him again. There's the third man obstruction in there. So his teammate got between a defender and him and obstructed the defender.
So it surprises me, the third man rule these days, because you're allowed to turn your body and put it in the way. And there are occasions when a third man does keep you out, but sometimes he just runs across the face.
Brenda Bess looking for options. Not sure that was the one he wanted.
Well, he knew what he wanted, but no one else did. Wasn't a bad option, actually. If a striker had just faded into that space, he would have found himself with plenty of room.
Tim Bates.
There's less passing into the space these days than there used to be. You know, it's mainly stick to stick, and so players perhaps don't lead for spaces as used to be the case.
Kai Stewart. Pearce.
Well played by Sampson. He did well there. He showed his pace, and he's still going.
Well umpired. Played the advantage. Still Sampson. Won't get a shot away. Does find a foot. That was well umpired. There was a chance of a free hit outside the circle. Umpire Dan Johnston said, no, you've got it. Keep playing.
Dom Hurd is going troppo there. He was calling. He reckoned it hit the back of the stick. I don't think it did it. Oh. Yeah, I think he's right.
They all called for it.
Yeah. And Dom Hurd saw it too. He's not happy. But in some ways, Sampson rode his luck there, and he certainly got some penetration.
Yeah, not legally.
He bounced off one lot, bounced off another. Yeah. Well, it might not have hit the back of his stick. It looked a bit awkward, but in the end, here we have a corner. Pearce likely taker.
Tis Pearce on the saved on the baseline. Was that Taylor? It was.
Well, I reckon he saved it with his glove.
Well, glove was it?
I think he had his glove down, his stick down. We'll see. No one claimed anything more.
No, it didn't make the noise of a stick, did it?
And certainly...
Here it is.
they would have been. Let's see what he does.
Yep,
Yeah,
glove.
it's his glove. Yeah, and the big glove. They wear the big glove, and indeed, that's legitimate. You've got to be happy with that. That makes a difference. That's the equivalent of scoring one if you can save one on the line.
Yep. And the glove's legit as long as it is holding the stick at the time.
Absolutely. No, they wear the big glove, and of course the postman can use his gloves if he's holding his stick to great effect.
Bates. Nick corner. Ben Taylor. Kyle Potter throws it forward.
It's a good pass.
Sets a chase for McIntyre. Lawson, Patton Williams, great run. Covered 40 metres to get there.
Well, he had to get there first, otherwise McIntyre would have been in the circle.
Take it further back, says umpire Dan Johnston, where the free hit occurred. Bainham turns the corner. Back live. Cudby forward. Potter. Penalty corner again.
Well, assertive and looking for it. I like that. I like this pass. I think you've got to play into that corner a little bit more often than people do sometimes, and Potter fires it. Taylor's in front, but he couldn't control, hit his foot. So another opportunity, and Wasps have been pressing very hard in this third quarter.
The best to inject. Bainham with the trap at the top of the circle. Pearce. I was going to say an easy save, but of course none of them are easy, but Dom Hurd, right place, right time. Big mitt.
Well, Dom does. He covers the right of the goal pretty well. He was offset there. They moved to the left to make the trap, so that made it easier for him covering that angle, and he did it pretty effectively.
Watch that old ad. Here's Dom, is good.
Yeah.
Whoa, airy danger.
Well, Bainham did well to get in there, and now there's a counter-attack. Vader Karnas will get it.
Wasps back in numbers, though. Brenda Bess pokes the stick in, sees it out over the sideline. Corner. Nick corner.
Bit of a stalemate in the corner. Cudby's got nowhere to go. He needs to win a free hit. That's the best outcome you can have there. It's still in play, and Vic Park have got it.
Robinson. Richardson, I should say. Sterrett.
Well, we're halfway through, and Wasps have had 3 or 4 significant chances. Perhaps Vic Park can make one. Here we go. Ooh. Did well to get there, but couldn't finish the swing.
And that's ruled as dangerous play for the uninitiated. Now a chance. Sampson might have found somebody forward had he looked. In the end, it comes to naught for them.
Well, yeah, they broke, but they didn't really have much ahead, did they? And they played across the other side of the field, but couldn't find that final pass to give them penetration into the circle.
Midway through the third quarter now, still just the one goal in it. Vic Park leading. Great steal.
Well, he's dangerous, Richards, isn't he?
And onto the foot, penalty corner.
Ran through the middle there with real penetration.
For Vic Park, that's their first penalty corner of this period, but their fourth of the game. Just onto the feet there of David Wareham.
And it was the speed with which he broke in the middle that caused the extra reach for Wareham, and then you can't cover your feet in that situation. What do we think here? Will they go Taylor again? They've tried a couple of deflections. Richardson's had their measure on the direct shots. What about this time?
Taylor, Richardson again with the big left mitt.
Yeah, he was there, and if you're going to flick that side, it's got to be inch perfect in the corner, or maybe it's got to be over the goalkeeper's shoulder. That was a good height to save.
Well, there's a little foot in the circle by one of the attackers. So
Now it's the McIntyre's goal here.
was that a foot? Yes, it was.
Had it not been blown, the ball would have been dangerously going the other way. Charlie McIntyre just as
Richards.
Good idea by Cudby then down the middle, but just missed Potter, and a little bit of desperation perhaps there for Wasps in the last couple of minutes.
Aiden Lowe's. That's Stessa. Oh dear. Gabriel almost there with the well, he was there with the deflection, just couldn't get it on target.
It was a really lovely setup. Almost deserved the goal that, but just enough pressure to force the error.
Watch out!
Get out. Got to get out. Got to get better.
This way, you gotta go! Come on, Jack!
Getting out. big stretch. Paul Robinson couldn't get there. It's a good idea, really, to be able to connect up with that one. Would have been another chance. Still making opportunity. Maybe fatigued there. Just chase the ball down the right.
When we get the ball, mate. Left shoulder, left shoulder. Tackle, Mitch! What up, Mitchell? Fletcher, be out! Fletcher, be out! Boy, get out! Just manage, Mitch, just manage. Good boy, Mitchell.
When it comes to penetrating Vic Park circle, they're pretty good low to the ground, round their feet, defending the circle.
So both teams back out, 15 minutes to go, 1 goal the difference. 15 minutes underway. Vic Park restarting. Batistessa determined to run forward. Chance here, Gabriel, and just getting the stick in time. Brenda Best.
Well, it looked like he had plenty of time for the shot, but Brenda Best did very, very well to block that.
Did well to get that back, and the deflection on the finish. Jason Gabriel, very, very well worked from the time they took that free hit on the 23.
Ethan Stewart's blaming it, and maybe gave him a touch at the end there. I think
Gabriel's giving it to Sterrett. So Ethan Sterrett then, Gabriel was there to make sure of it if he needed to.
For Vic Park, so he loves to sneak forward, and he did effectively then and made a difference. And now the task is much harder for Wasps. They'd done well in the third quarter, but they hadn't been able to score. It'll be much harder now.
Still plenty of time left, almost 14 minutes of play. Bates. Richards. He's quick, isn't he?
Well, he's been dangerous all day, and he was dangerous then. He got real penetration, ran fast, and created an opportunity.
Gabriel.
Stewart passed the ball in, and now he's free again in the circle. He's forgotten about playing as a defender, and that's how Stewart got to score, I suspect. He does it all the time. It's part of his play. Now, of course, he's going to have to chase back into defence. But they've got numbers back there.
Sampson. Quick change. Damon. Forced back. Pierce now.
Dangerous ball by Sampson right across the face there. Bates did well to get in front of it.
Robinson. Corner ball.
And Stewart there playing the faithful defender. He scored his goal, and now he's going to defend.
Kyle Potter. Cudby once more to Robinson. Kyle Potter, and not controlled that time by Murray McIntyre. The chance goes begging. Vic Park get to restart from defence.
Well, very good play by Potter again, and he gave the right pass. Murray McIntyre had controlled it, then he would have been one-on-one with the goalkeeper. That's the difference. Those little inches, those little pieces of skill make all the difference.
Richards again.
Richards.
Yeah. Taylor. Patton Williams out on the left. Beautifully done. Skaney wants the free hit and eventually gets it. The non-controlling umpire saw it and signalled.
Yeah, Sconey did enough there. I thought that was correct.
Well kept in. Superb. And is there a penalty corner? No, it's a free hit out. But gee, what a bring down that was by Ethan Stewart out there.
Yeah, it was a long ball from Batistessa. It was near the sideline. He did very well to control it and very nearly ended up getting in the circle.
Benjamin Woodruff forced to go back, happy to do so. Robinson. Cudby. Taylor. Calm under pressure.
He needed to be. There was pressure there.
Bates likewise. Oh, Taylor's put himself under pressure there. That's a miscue. Batistessa made the best of it. Not enough, though. Bainham throws it wide, and wide it stays.
Well, Sampson had to control it on the reverse and wasn't able to. Again, a little piece of skill cost you. Bates is going to take his time now.
Absolutely.
Well, he's getting on. Maybe he's tired, but I think he's just being crafty. Oh, don't lose it there, though. And good interception.
Aiden Lowe's.
Yep.
Batistessa.
He walked back into it.
It was almost a little bit of reverse parking there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He knew it was coming too.
Well, you can't criticise the effort of WASPS. They've made enough to have got a result today. They've done enough, but that last one from Ethan Stewart, a little deflection that just rolled over the line, is going to be the difference, perhaps.
Viticanus earning the corner ball. Hayden Viticanus. Again, quick turn, couldn't keep the ball in.
7 minutes. It's still long enough, but you've got to think WASPs perhaps haven't done enough in this fourth quarter. They haven't looked like they were going to make enough chances. And Bates is
Again,
just walking.
Yeah, absolutely no rush. Take as long as you can without getting a green card.
You just slip it. Yeah, I always thought he was going to slip it, but obviously his teammate didn't. He's had a bit of that trouble today.
Advantage paid there. It came off the foot, but ball advanced, so Wasps ball at the side. Robertson, was that off a foot? Yes, it was, just outside the circle. Robertson again. Oh, great work, Dom Hurd. Fantastic. It was the trailing stick that got the ball.
Yeah, well, the goalkeeper has to come there, and Hurd did it exactly right. If he doesn't get his stick to it, then that ball's across the face and the goal is empty.
Pampling. Haven't seen much of him in this final quarter so far. Richards, we have seen a lot of him.
I'm not sure that Richards played the earlier games, but he's played well today. He's made a big difference.
There he is again.
And they're content now to play the ball round. And if you remember, well, 4 minutes ago, Wolves took off their goalkeeper, and that was the thing that made the difference.
Yep.
Are we going to see that from Wasps? Now's the time.
Richards again.
You don't want to die wondering. Usually you won't do it until you get the ball in a dead ball situation, but when you do, that's the option.
Charlie McIntyre. Vidikanus giving chase. Bates across in support. Oh, loose ball.
And without the goalkeeper, you give yourselves an extra player. You give yourself more options in that situation. So, you know, 4:33 to go. Are they going to do anything? Down at the bench, doesn't look like they're thinking about it. But if you're Wasps and you're 2-0 down, you've got not much to lose now.
Kai Stewart did well to get a stick onto that. Wasps just don't seem desperate yet, do they? Off the feet of Gabriel.
Well, I think I think you want to widen the field, make it as big as possible when you get the ball, but the extra field player makes it more difficult for the other team to cover all the options. You can play the ball around, you can usually get to the circle. You get to the circle, you can make yourself a chance. But at the moment, without the extra field player, I'm not sure that they're doing enough to look like they can do that.
Pampling had it taken away, but Bates good enough to get it back.
And he's taking his time and everything he's doing. Batesy.
Vidikanus. Corner. Nick Corner. Oh, well done. Got himself out of trouble. Now the turnover. Oh, you need to trap those, don't you? When you're battling so hard for the ball. Gabriel, can he finish? Oh, upright reverse. And again, the goalkeeper did really well, Richardson. Corner ball.
Long corner, and Vic Park have had too much of the ball in this last 5 minutes to make you think that there's much that Wasp can do. Potter, he'll try.
You sense they have to make something of this. He didn't. Taylor. Stewart. Taylor's run on.
Taylor has the ball. He's on the sideline. There's 2 minutes to go. He's not going to be in any hurry. He'll win another free hit. The clock just runs down, and I think it's all over. I don't like the chances of Wasps being able to do much in these 2 minutes. He could have gone to the circle. We just won another free hit, but no. Or he tried to. Potter will go over. This is a chance.
Murray McIntyre. Nobody there.
He controlled it. He waited, but it just wasn't the support on the other side of the field. And Bates, again, he's taking his time. Happy to wait. He'll throw it over.
That's gone out at the side.
Well, a minute 20. Could be looking, but there's nothing on. There's no options ahead. Vic Park have played it pretty well. They're not going to let this lead slip away. Less than a minute.
Gabriel's missed trap. One last despairing chance for Wasps, perhaps. No free hit that time for Richards, but he's taken some more time off the clock.
Sampson, can there be one last moment? Well, Ethan Stewart's a big guy. Just enough to block him. you'd want to try and get to the circle if you can.
You never know when goal difference is going to be important, do you?
Yeah, and it's Vic Parks. They're throwing it to the other end. Less than 10 seconds. And the players are shaking hands, I suspect, because they know
it's all over. Just waiting for the final siren. There it goes. And so Vic Park get their first win of the season, 2-0 over Wasps. And Wasps still looking for those first premiership points.
Well, they're a better team than to have lost 3 in a row, Wasps. So somebody's going to meet them in this round, and they'll cause an upset. But Vic Park probably, on balance, just did better. They were a bit better at finishing their corners. Ethan Stirrett scored a sneaky one in the last quarter, which probably made the difference. But
probably close to a fair result.
Well, yeah, I think so. But there were 2 or 3 very good chances for Wasps, which they were Roo missing, and that's the game of hockey. You don't get 20 chances. I think here we see Richards very powerful, fired it across the face. Early on in the last quarter, Vic Park did the better. And then from this situation, along the baseline, Scaney wins the free. Untidy.
That was clever.
And there, at the end of the game, it was really Vic Park taking their time just to delay. They couldn't quite get into the circle enough, Wasps, to do enough.
Let's go pitch side. Nick Neary is with one of the heroes of the game.
Yes, down here with Dom Hurd, captain tonight for Vic Park. Clean sheet for you tonight. Did anything stress you out coming towards the net first off?
Nah, look, we've got a great group of blokes who know their jobs and execute them really well. That's what it was about for us today. Just know your job, execute it, and do it over and over and over again.
From the back, where was the point of strength from you guys watching your whole team play out?
When we hit post-ups and when we keep the ball, we retain it in the front half, we build up. We play really good hockey, and that's when we're at our best.
First win for you guys on the blocks now. Where do you go to from here? Obviously a long way ahead, but do you try build on consecutives, or is it all just about maintaining game plan?
No, look, we're not shying away from the fact that we want to be a really good side. And to do that, first thing is you've got to win 13 games and get into the second half of the season. So that's our aim, and we do that through sticking to our process and doing that over and over again.
Well, Dom, nice, good win from you. Clean sheet tonight. Well done. We'll catch you in the coming weeks.
Thanks so much.
Cheers. Back to you guys.
Tom Hurd, 27-year-old lawyer who actually played for Bloomendale in the Hooft class a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and he was... he spent some time. He spent some time in Holland, you know, and he's a student of goalkeeping, and certainly someone who, over the last few years, I think has been one of the better goalkeepers in the competition, steady week after week after week, and that's reflected in the fact that Vic Park have had a very good defensive record and have been contenders in the finals for the last couple of seasons, and they would be hoping to do that again. It's interesting. He says 13 games will get them into the finals. I think. You know that's probably enough, but maybe you want to do a little bit more than that if you contend for the championship.
Aim higher.
Yeah, but they've given a bad start. Maybe that's realistic too.
Yeah. So there we are. Vic Park getting their first win of the season, not their first points. They had a draw with my co-commentators club, Wolves, a week ago, 3-3. They lost their first game to Fremantle 3-2, but they've got a win here tonight, 2-0. Over Wasps. Thanks to Rick, thanks to Nick Neary on the sidelines, thanks to our crew. We'll catch you next time for the WA Premier League men's and women's.